dreaming of a redemption that I honestly think in my waking consciousness is beyond me, has left me here atop a raft made of pillows, hoisting pillow sails where the wind will billow through the pillows, and I will be placed within the stocks by an angry liege. A legion of lieges. It's the prototypical United Nations. All the cousins got together and said, "Hey, cuz, why you doing that?" And they're like, "No reason. What are you even talking about?" And the first one puts the licky part of a lollipop against the tip of his nose and hums like, They decide there's something wrong with him, and they say, "We need to patrol the peasantry and see which wretch is casting angry doll magic." Now, I do happen to collect dolls, bread-themed dolls. I had a real swell loaf one time, and because my life was so empty, I'm like, guess this bitch and sourdough is now my personality. So I went to the village doll farmer and asked, "Could you grow me bread dolls?" They said, there's somebody down the way, roughly 35 steps down the way, who does edible bread dolls called Bread. You want that? I think you want that. I'm like, I don't. I've peaked vis-a-vis edible bread dolls. I'd like now for mine to be decorative and eternal. Is this not your domain, doll farmer? And the doll farmer says, "Let me look in the back." And I hear a lot of clanging and snorting noises, and when they return, their irises are bleeding, and they're holding a figurine of a lady pulling a Kaiser roll out of the oven. Doll's eyes are bleeding too, but it's doll blood, so it's not too drippy. And they go, "It's free." I'm like, "Really? It seems to have ruined you. Are you sure you don't want compensation for that?" They say, "There's nothing left for me in this world. It's free." So I took it and made it my life's work to ruin as many doll farmers as possible. Not out of hatred of the doll farmers, but if this is the only way I can get the thing I need in order to remember that real nice brunch, then I am going to do what must be done. Calypso music by mustachioed pipers. They're coming at you. You run in the opposite direction thinking, "I hope they're not coming for my dolls. I hope they aren't." And they're not. They're coming for you. Momentary relief gives way to a realization that your ability to appreciate your dolls kinda up and vanishes the second they hypnotize you with their seductive yet haunting tunes. You'll tell them everything. You'll tell them all you've ever known, all you've ever felt, and grip at your clothing trying to rend it apart because you know you're in hell and when in Rome, but the strength has been sapped from your muscles. Your fingers can't even clasp anymore. You go to have a sip of water. The best you can do is gently pet the glass. And the instant volition begins to return to both your mind and body. They hit you with another song. You're back to languishing on the floor of their inhospitable guest room. Your cranium feels tight. You try to massage the tightness away, finger to temple, and then the little circles. Oh, but it only makes it worse. You're applying pressure in your brain and your skull and the skin and the drippy bits. They clench and say, "Oh, please cease this assault." And you're like, "It's not an assault. I barely have the strength to touch my head. How are you too weak for this?" They're like, "I'm weak, you're weak, everybody's weak. I'm a freak. Now let's get chic." What you had thought was just a poster of a limp bandana floating in the breeze unties itself. Its throat binding comes loose and wrenches it out of the wall. It says, "Ha ha, you've been pranked. It's time for a makeover." And what's left of your mind responds with a whimpering noise. You re-enter the world of the self-aware. An indeterminate length of time later, your appearance has matured into that of dignified middle age, and oh my goodness, the dapperness of your suit? You can't even buy grime. They won't sell it to you. Like, I'd like some grime. My previous pursuit of doll collection seems to have ruined my life. Errors have been made. Let's try and simplify this here. Can I buy some grime? And they're like, sir, I couldn't bring myself to sell you grime. Your suavely radiant dignity compels me to keep you in mint condition. Follow me, and they slam you in the stocks. They put up an umbrella so the elements don't sully your garment, and eventually you, a quote-unquote you, rot away. But the suit is still fine, and it billows there in the breeze to this day, like bandanas, like pillow sails still puffed out, as if containing a body, but there's nothing left inside. And the tourists and the cousins and the kings snap pictures, pretend they're holding hands with the empty sleeves, pretend they're kissing where the cheeks should be. And wherever your soul has wound up, in this kaleidoscopic roulette wheel we call existence, if it has enough self, if it has enough phantasmal electricity to link fancy unto fancy any longer, then I, beholding the inevitability of our shared fate, must wonder what you are wondering now. Come at me, though, now, and inform me. Possess my bones with your splendid poetry. Rhyme a couple times about the grime they wouldn't sell you, the secrets they wouldn't tell you, the axe that tried to fell you, tree that you are, planted afar. Get in the car. My favorite Aladdin character is Jafar. What if, kind ghost, what if someone actually had held that hand of yours? Someone actually had kissed that cheek? Would you have wound up in the stocks? In the bandana room? Would you have wound up so overwhelmed by a tasty roll that it overwrote everything you'd been till that moment? It's on you to say and not on me. I know. I don't want to overstep here. But I got a twitchy foot. See, I think you might have had a pretty nice life. And I don't know. It's on you to say and not on me. Would it have been better to live in forgettable contentment? Or are you maybe happier as an empty suit that people will remember?